everybody, this is Natasha Laguerre.
And I'm Phillip Robinson.
And this is Sideline Vibes. Today's topic, we're going to talk about if college coaches will be, it was coaches. It wasn't college coaches.
It was just coaches in general. So yeah, it was going to be coaches in general on how strict they are on their athletes from middle school all the way up to college.
Yes.
I think you want to start off with high school students?
Yes, I want to start out with high school students. I believe that coaches could be a little bit more strict about it, but not in a way to insult them or to be tough on them. Because high school students can be can take that in the wrong way. And they can proceed the message to their parents like, oh, hey, my coach just did this and this. And of course, parents will intervene because they will feel pretty guilty and it might cost them the job with the coaches. So you do not want to do that. I believe that coaches should be more lighter with the students so they can understand what they're supposed to do but be disciplined too, because they have to know that on the way to college, right?
Yeah, that's true. Because when you get to college, it's all game. I mean, you're grown by the time you get to college. If you can't take, the yelling, the cussing, and you're not gonna last because you're gonna be broken down real quick.
You're not gonna last that long.
Yeah, but I think it depends on. I think sometimes a coach can be really strict and it can be really good. So, for example, I think I started playing basketball when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah. And
I had a coach that was really, really strict on us. Like, he was really strict. He yelled at us, but he disciplined us really, really well. Like, he knew his boundaries. And I see nowadays with kids, when they're growing up, depending on what league they're playing for, their coach, they just let them do whatever they want to do. And it doesn't really discipline them.
Not at all. Not at all.
It depends. It also depends kind of how they're raised as well. Because if their parents aren't necessarily making sure like they're always listening and paying attention, like if I tell you to do something, then you do it, then that's not going to carry over to practice. And sometimes when you get that in practice, and sometimes it helps. It really does, because if you're not listening and the coach tells you to run suicides, you're going to start listening. I promise you, you're going to start listening because you're going to get tired, you're not going to be able to breathe, and you're going to start paying attention to what I had to say.
That also reminds me, in my high school here in Sanderson, I had to be in a club, and of course, coaches were a little bit too light for my style. I was too used to have coaches yelling at me and telling me, you have to do this or else you have another option to do, which is a punishment. Of course, I was a little rascal. I still am. They will punish me, and it will take me to run a couple miles or touch baselines or stuff like that, or just depends of whatever it is, the situation. Back in Puerto Rico, I have a coach that it was very strict. It was the best coach, but he was very disciplined. If you did not follow just one rule, he will punish you forever. Like, his name was Carlos. He's my favorite coach. There was one day that we came late on practice, like 5 minutes late, and he was like, okay, I want you to run a mile once we finish here. And I was like, why? Because you were 5 minutes late. And I was like, oh, great. I can still count on that. My mother was actually there when he said that. She was like, oh, good job, coach, good job. I was like, great. All right. I actually ran the mile, and I did not like it. No.
Also, I think it helps a lot when it comes to learning, because sometimes when the coaches aren't strict, they don't want to necessarily tell the athlete what's wrong, and they're too scared to correct them, and that can help them in the future. And they're just really lenient about how they do everything. Well,
I believe that in middle school, they should teach you how to do stuff, the techniques. Then in high school, you should know at least the basic and everything. You'll be good. In college, well, that's the time that you were supposed to be an excellent student and athlete. All right.
That's it for today's episode of Sideline Vibes. Next week's episode is going to be due. Bystanders have a responsibility to intervene when there is trouble.
All right. Well, that is all for today. I am Natasha Laguerre.
And I'm Phillip Robinson.
And this is Sideline Vibes.
See you next week.